Hi there. Today we're going to be talking about what a moisturizer does to our face. Let's get started. A moisturizer is primarily made up of emollients. A moisturizer is used for maintenance purposes. What do we mean by that? The moisturizer, as I just mentioned, is primarily made up of emollients. Emollients form a thin layer on the visible layer of your skin. The thin layer, that's the top layer of the skin. They form a thin layer on the top layer of our skin, and they prevent water from the deeper layers of the skin from evaporating into the environment. See, water from the deeper layers of the skin is constantly evaporating into the environment. The visible layer of our skin, it acts like a shield and it prevents this water from evaporating into the environment. But it can't do its job all by itself. And that's why you need to put something like a moisturizer on top of your face. So this one, a moisturizer which is usually made up of a lot of emollients, it forms a thin layer and prevents water from the deeper layers of the skin from evaporating into the environment. That's why when you don't apply anything on your skin and you just leave it like that, and after some time if you just touch the skin, you feel it's very dry. That's because the water is evaporating at a very rapid rate. So you want to prevent that and you would apply a moisturizer. You see, a moisturizer is just maintaining our skin. Its only role is maintenance. Now, it's not going to strengthen the visible layer or do anything more to make the cells firm or anything like that. Having said that, there are some moisturizers which have more than emollients in them. They have some strengthening ingredients in them. Now, these ingredients, what they do, they get into the deeper layers of skin and do some magic there. So how that would work is, the cells in the top layer of our skin, they are arranged like bricks. Just like bricks are held together by mortar. Mortar is in between the bricks and the bricks are held together by mortar. If the mortar is not strong enough, the bricks will fall apart. The same with our cells on the top layer. They're all arranged like bricks and they're held together by certain substances. There's a lot of various compounds and chemicals in that substances. Now, some of the moisturizers, they will have ingredients which can get into the deeper layers and supplement these substances. They strengthen these substances. They add to the quantity and the quality of these substances. So what happens if the quality and the quantity is increased? The cells are held together tightly. The cells form a very strong barrier once they're held together tightly. And when the cells form a very strong barrier, it's an effective shield. And when it's an effective shield, what happens? Two things happens. One is water from the deeper layers of the skin does not evaporate at a fast rate into the environment. Number two, all the environmental aggressors, the pollutants, the irritants, they don't attack the skin as much, and so the breakouts on the skin is reduced or it goes away. So that's what a strong shield can do. So a moisturizer which is just for maintenance purposes will only prevent water from the deeper layers of the skin from evaporating into the environment. These moisturizers that are for maintenance purposes are primarily made up of emollients. Some moisturizers will have strengthening ingredients in them. These ingredients can get into the deeper layers of skin and do some magic there. And their primary role would be to strengthen the visible layer of skin. When a visible layer of skin is a strong shield, it prevents water from the deeper layers of skin from evaporating. Number two, that's number one. Number two, it prevents attacks from the environmental nasties, and thus the breakouts don't happen on the visible layer of skin. So a moisturizer is usually very light, and it is usually light so that you can apply it in the daytime. A cream, on the other hand, is different. A cream is not made up of emollients as such. It might have a few emollients in them, but it will usually have a lot of occlusives. Occlusives are much more thicker when you touch them, and it's thicker, and so they make a very good job of forming a thicker barrier on top of the skin, and so they're much more effective in preventing water from the deeper layers of skin from evaporating into the environment. But they do feel a bit sticky, and that's why you would prefer a moisturizer in the daytime and a cream in the nighttime. Having said that, some moisturizers, if they're formulated well, they will also have some occlusives in them, but they are formulated in such a way that they have a very light feel. So check the ingredients. A moisturizer is primarily made up of emollients. Sometimes it can have ingredients which can strengthen the skin barrier. So if you go for a moisturizer like that, you are actually getting two jobs done, and strengthening the skin barrier and preventing water loss. So look for moisturizers like that. Always remember, forget the marketing, forget the fluff. Look at the ingredients, because the ingredients are the only ones that don't lie. Just because a product says it's a cream, it does not become a cream. You've got to look at the ingredients and see if it's got the occlusives and see what they do, and only then make up your mind.